Well, you have to, your blueberry ice cream.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
I was asked to make this, and Christi came up for the formula. There's a baby shower that Paula is going to in a couple of weeks, and they said it's a boy, and could you please make a blue ice cream? So we're going to bring a blue ice cream. And I said, what's better blue than blueberry? So we're going to use 3.5 quarts of the blend, which is right there. 36 ounces of blueberry jelly, jam, or preserves, whichever one you have, and that's going to be the Smucker's blueberry preserves. And 3 ounces of blueberry extract. Where did that go?
Right there, the 2 little bottles.
I just had it, yeah. This I got on Amazon. I like the looks of this one. It's pure blueberry extract. Blueberries themselves are on the weak side, just like strawberries. So I want to bolster the flavor. So we're going to put some extract in there, and we're guessing at what's going to be right. But you actually made this already.
Yes.
So we know what's going to go in there. So let me start pouring this in. We're going to 3.5 quarts over here. Always check that the gate's closed, because the last thing we did was we made ice cream, and we left the gate open when we finished. So it's going all over your feet, and you call me up and you're cursing me out saying we built a terrible machine. It's leaking all over my beautiful mahogany hardwood floors. They just went up in value. And I said, did you close the gate? Oh, there's a gate? Okay. I found that if you rest the bucket on this big, huge lid, it might still spill down the side. If you raise it up a little bit, you won't spill a drop. Now, I hope I make you feel bad, because I want you to know that I'm blind in my right eye. So if a partially blind guy can do this, you ought to be able to do it beautifully. Not a drop.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and put this in.
You can put it all in whatever order you want.
This is our blueberry extract. And how are we getting this in? Is it gonna come out?
Yeah, with the spatula.
Oh.
Yeah. You gotta
You got a smaller spatula? I don't think that one's gonna fit. Perfecto. Thank you.
So while he's doing that, he asked a question of, does the ripeness of the fruit change the flavor of the product? Yes, it does. So that leads to another, fresh or frozen. I prefer frozen fruits. Reason why is because they're picked at their most perfect season, and they are frozen right away. When you let your frozen fruit thaw, it makes the most beautiful, natural, sweet juice in the bag itself. So kind of like taking fresh fruit, sprinkle sugar over it, let it sit in the fridge overnight. Now it's made itself a nice simple syrup out of its own from the sugar in the strawberries or the sugar in the blueberries. Frozen fruits automatically do that when you let them thaw. My kid will tell you, I talk about her a lot. Go ahead. Oh, you needed 2 jars.
I just want to show you. Jeff lets it mix. Nothing is happening for the first 6 minutes. It's chilling down, and then it hit a freezing point. It's like boiling water. Water just sits there, and then it hits the proper temperature, and boom, it's boiling. Nothing's going on here, so why not turn on the refrigeration? I'm all about speed. I want to get this done so I can go sit in my Barca lounger and watch Oprah. So I am moving as fast as I can, so it's already freezing, but it will mix just fine because nothing is turning into ice cream yet.
My daughter will tell you she's a blueberry fanatic. She'll sit there and eat the entire pack of blueberries if you let her. She'll tell you that she prefers fresh over frozen, but that's because she sits there and eats it like that. When it comes to working with ice cream or ices or cream ice or sorbets, I always like to do frozen and let it thaw. Unless, you have like a peach festival or a strawberry festival going on, you can buy those peaches. You can freeze them yourself. Sprinkle some sugar, put them in the freezer on your own, and then pull them out and then let them thaw. And then you can say made with, your local orchard peaches.
Now, what I just did, you cannot do with any other batch freezer on the market. They all come down to about a little half-inch opening. I just took a whole bag of blueberries and threw it in there. Now, Jeff and I agree, buy name brands where you need it. I do buy, instead of buying the name brand of the blueberries, like Driscoll. I'm using blueberries from the local supermarket, that's a Publix. They were picked at the height of freshness. They don't add any other sugar or syrups or anything. It's just blueberries. I do thaw them overnight in the fridge, because if I take them here and only partially thaw them, they'll still have some ice to them, and that ice will transport right into the ice cream. And you'll taste it as icy particles. So when you're using fresh fruit like this, fresh frozen fruit, make sure you get it fully thawed. Now, everything's in there. I've been freezing now for 2 minutes, and instead of waiting for 2 minutes and then turning it on, I'm already 2 minutes into my process. I only have probably about 7 or 8 minutes left before I can pull it out and go sit down. So that's that. It's all about speed. You're going to be doing this for 8 hours. There's no sense falling in love with the product, watching this and going, oh, look at my blueberries. Just get the job done and go on to the next flavor. Right, Jeff? Any questions? Derek?
Make the Italian ice. I have these little emergency packs that I like that have minerals and electrolytes in it, some water-based drink, and it's good raspberry. And I take a couple of those packs and put them right in there.
I'll tell you what you...
Italian ice.
Absolutely. I have just discovered those packets of electrolytes. Went through one of those wonderful illnesses where you just completely are lost of all your electrolytes for about 24 hours. And so I've been drinking for the past week electrolytes, and I put it into water, and you can taste it, it's there, but it doesn't change the texture of anything. So I think it's a great idea. Wow. Maybe you're onto something. The first ice cream.
The next great idea is, and someone's going to make a lot of money on it, energy Italian ices.
I think he just did. That's what he just did. Electrolytes.
You know, what do you need me for?
So like a Gatorade Italian ice?
No, like those
No,
energy-
I'll show him to you. It's
A Red Bull Italian? I could definitely go for that.
take over 1 second. I want to go get one. I'll be right
Okay.
back.
Oh, take over. Talk.
Before I leave, anybody else items from the book? Okay. Energy drink Italian ice with a clever name.
Okay.
I'll pass this around so you can see it. I'll pass this around so you can see it. It's called Liquid IV. And they're fantastic. They come in different flavors. You can get a neutral one. But just so you can see it, you can buy it on Amazon. My son told me about this because he's in a lot into sports. And it's like, I think they advertise it, it's like either 5 or 6 times the amount of water you would normally take in because you're rehydrating so quickly. And it's just great. Yeah, there you go. So definitely worth, that's a great idea. I like it a lot.
Let's do it next time.
Well, it's his idea now.
I'll make it next time.
Well, we'll think about it. Maybe we will. But it would be a sorbet would be great with electrolytes because you're getting.
It's already got raspberry in it. It's delicious.
Yeah. This one I'm passing around is great, and the tangerine's good. They're terrific.
Tune it in June.
You mean I'm going to make it?
Yes. No.
You
I'm
mean
gonna-
I have to make the formula, right?
I'm going to make it.
Okay.
All we're going to do is just take a standard Italian ice and pour in the electrolytes. Yes.
Well,
The Italian ice, I know that it's supposed to be dissolving the sugar to get more mileage out of the blades. How often do you have to change the blades in the machine?
The blades in our machines go approximately 5 years. Of course, it'll depend on how you're running the machine. If you're running it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, maybe you only get 3 years. There are also the blades. Let me grab a dasher and just show you real quick. We have them held together right now by springs so that the springs don't go flying, if that makes sense. That's a 24-quart dasher. That's very heavy. I've been lifting my weight, so I make it look simple. It's killing me. So that's all stainless steel manufactured across the street at our other factory. These blades are Delrin, which is one of the few FDA-approved plastic resins that you can use in a machine. And the springs are what push it out. The old blades we used were thrown out by centrifugal force. But when I started slowing down the machine with the infinite overrun control, now they're not scraping the walls because they're falling away because of the low speed. With these springs, it doesn't matter if the blade is 1 day old or 3 years old. It's still going to push the white Delrin blades against the walls with the same amount of force. Our old blades had to be sharp. Everybody else's blades, they're also Delrin. They have to be replaced every 6 months. 6 months. And they cost as much as ours that go 5 years. So we get a lot of mileage. There's no maintenance on them, no sharpening, no nothing. Just run them and change the springs maybe once a year. That's very inexpensive. You know, kind of like tuning up your car. Every once in a while you got to change the oil, I hope. So that's what that system does, and then that's in all the machines in different sizes. So no worries there. There was another question? No? Okay. Yes?
Do you sell a tune-up kit?
No, we don't. Do we sell a tune-up kit? No, because tune-up kits are not necessary. It depends on what how often you're running it. There's no sense selling you springs if you're making ice cream or ices twice a week. I mean, they're going to go for a long time. We sell individual parts. We know what you need. So when you call up, rather than charge you $400 for a quote-unquote tune-up kit, we're going to sell you, $14 O-rings because that's all you need. We'll sell you what you need. And also, we do everything different. We do it the old-fashioned way with customer service. We don't go through dealers because, quite frankly, they don't have nearly the knowledge base that everybody in this building does. So we sell you direct. Some person who's selling ovens and deep fat fryers is a very nice person, but what do they know about batch freezers? We know batch freezers. Emery Thompson, my grandfather, invented it. So we're your best source of information. I tell people, if you own another person's machine, a Taylor, a Capojani, an Electrofreeze, a Bravo, and you have a problem, call us. We can probably help you with it. We don't sell their parts, but we've heard everything. We know when you've left the sugar out, that you were making a cherry ice and you have water and cherry juice and you forgot the sugar because it's banging and clanking. And we'll say, oh, there's nothing wrong with your Capojani. You just need to put the 7 pounds of sugar in that you forgot. And I say, call me back and let me know how it works. They never call back.
Still got a little while.
Okay.
It's only at 9 minutes.
Okay. What's in there?
Me pulling some out.
Oh, okay. Anybody else? Okay, yeah, I'll be right back. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry?
The difference between Italian ice and sorbet.
The difference between Italian ice and sorbet is that champagne glass and the squeeze cup. It's the same product. Lemon sorbet, 7 pounds of sugar. Use this formula. This is the best ice that anybody has ever made. I sold this formula to Universal Studios in 1992. That's how good it is. 7 pounds of sugar, 14 quarts of water, 2 quarts of fresh squeezed lemon juice. You got to squeeze lemons. And 6 California lemons and a cheese grater. Watch out for your knuckles. That really hurts as you grate off the outside zest. And that's the best lemon ice you'll ever have. Sorbet, same formula, just change the name and triple the price. It's the same thing. Anybody tells you different has never made ices and sorbet in their life. They're just selling a machine. I'm sorry, what? Again, the more sugar, the smoother the product. So I can vary it, the smoothness, by adding more sugar. Yes?
Just for the maintenance, when you are changing the blades, is there somebody that you need to go through for that? Can anybody do it?
To change the blades?
Yeah.
Where's my dasher?
I put your dasher back.
Oh boy. Okay, we have a spring on here just so it doesn't go flying apart, but I'm going to take this apart right down to nothing and then put it back together for you. And it's not because I'm some genius, because I'm not. Okay, there's the dasher. It's got 4 springs. We're going to put one on here, and then we're going to put this blade on. Whoops. We're almost halfway finished. Okay, that's half of the blade changed. The other one, I'm going to put the spring on there. The springs can go either way, doesn't matter. The blades have to go a certain way, but we knew you were going to mess it up, so we drilled a little hole in it. The little hole tells you that it's facing forward. And let's see, that's the back, so this must be forward. I'm going to put that drill hole forward. There's your maintenance right there. That's all there was to it. You don't have to hire for someone for $90 to do it. If you want to pay me $90 and I'm not busy, that's a pretty good deal. I'll come down. But that's it. So there's your maintenance. And the once a year maintenance, can you see those 2 black rings on there? Those are rubber gaskets. You take a butter knife and you roll it off and throw it away, and then you roll on a new one. And that's once a year. You've just performed the entire maintenance on the whole machine. So that's pretty easy. This is a CB350. You want to see something big? Now you're really taxing my muscles. I used to be a 98-pound weakling until I started taking electrolytes. That's the 44 quart. And you can do this all day long. It's just great for you. I'm telling you, it's wonderful. Before I met my wonderful wife, Paula, I was married before, and my previous wife came to a trade show, and a man comes in, he says, "Oh, my people could never lift that thing. My employees could never lift that thing." And she was about 5'11". She goes over and grabs it and says, "Get stronger employees." The guy is amazed. He walks away. And that's when I knew the beginning of the end. She goes, "You owe me." Because that thing's heavy. So lifting that up is not that easy. But that's the biggest production machine in the world. Right there. Same design as all the others. What do you think?
I think it could go another minute.
Okay.
It was a lot of sugar. Blueberries have sugar. Jam has sugar. Extract was alcohol.
Okay. Yes.
So with all these different names for Italian ice or sorbet, we're actually going to open up in a market that almost has no exposure to this product at all.
Yeah.
Indianapolis. Rita's put in 2 stores within the last year on the north side of Indianapolis, a good 20, 25 miles from where we'll be. And there's no one else in our area that has anything like the Italian ice. So do you have a suggestion? Is like, do we go with Italian ice is what we're calling it? Is it better to call it sorbet? Is there a way to market it to kind of make sure we can distinguish it from snow cones, ices, the stuff they're used to? Because that's all that they know. You know?
Rita's calls it water ice.
Okay.
Because they're Philadelphia. They used our machines for years and years. Because we used to build for a company called Electrofreeze. We would build all their batch freezers. Now Electrofreeze is owned by another Italian company, and so they had to stop buying our machines because they were importing everything. But that's water ice, which I think is a terrible name. It just doesn't sound right compared to Italian ice. I would go with Italian ice, or if it's an upscale neighborhood, I would go with fresh fruit sorbets. Either way, you're going to have to explain to people, what the product is at first. But once they try it, I mean, typically, if a place is selling snow cones and they put in an Emery Thompson to make Italian ice, in 2023, when they're making snow cones, it's 100% snow cones. And by the end of the summer, it'll be 90% and 10% Italian ice. By this time next year, it'll be 100% Italian ice. It blows away snow cones because a snow cone is nothing more than shaved ice with some artificial flavor and color poured over it. You know, if parents ever thought about what they were giving their kids, they would never give them that. It's no better than a 7-Eleven Slurpee.
I think you can pull it now.
Okay. So I'm going to turn off the refrigeration, open the gate, and here we go. See how fast that comes out? We want production. That's 6 quarts right there.
I got it. You can get the rest.
And we advertise it as a 6-quart machine, though we know there's this much left in there still. But better to underrate the machine than to overrate. So now we're pulling out about 7.5 quarts out of this machine.
This is a pretty color. It's very pretty.
It is pretty. It'll be great at the baby shower.
Yeah.
If I wanted it more blue instead of purple, could I just put a coloring in it?
Yeah, you can put a food coloring in it. Sure.
I would reach out to Green Mountain Flavors. That's that green folder that you guys have. So the thing about Stan at Green Mountain Flavors is they don't use artificial colors like Red Dye 40. They extract their colors from like beets. It doesn't taste like beets, but they are using the color from the beets to make it red. Same things for all of pretty much everything else that they have.
Stan is a chemist and he's a genius. And he saw a market for all natural colors and extracts and went after it, and he's done a fantastic job.
He does. You know, and exactly as Steve said, he's a scientist. There have been times where I've wanted to hit my head on the table because I don't understand it. You know, and just how much of this do I put in there? But, you know, you got to go by weight or by volume. And sometimes I felt like I needed a pair of goggles and a beaker.
I try to explain to Stan Sitton is his name, he's the president of the company, that I grew up on inches and quarts, and he's in milliliters and kilometers. And I said, yeah, Stan, I tried that one. I told the cop that I wasn't breaking the speed limit because I was going in kilometers, and they still ended up in cuffs. You know, everything I do ends up in cuffs. So you're gonna like this. And this is our last flavor, so this is your golden opportunity to ask questions. We'll give you a tour of the factory.